Hi guys, and thanks for joining me for this last part. Okay, so you'll be glad to hear of the Switch Security Configuration Challenge. So we're on part 4. So what have we done so far? We've created a secure trunk. We've basically then secured the unused switch ports. We've implemented port security, and in the last video we configured DHCP snooping. The last part of this, step number 5, is to configure portfast. What is portfast again, guys? Portfast immediately brings up a port to a forwarding state from a blocking state. So essentially bypasses those listening and learning states of STP. So what we want to do is we want to apply portfast to our access layer ports on our switch. So this is exactly what it's saying here. So it's basically saying enable portfast on all access ports. So the first thing we want to find out, guys, is, well, we want to go to the correct switch first of all. So I'm going to log back into switch number 1. I want to make sure that I bring that up here. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure, guys, let's go back because we just finished off part 3 in the last video. I want to go show VLAN. So this is going to tell me the access ports that I want to configure. So I can see here's our access ports 1, 2, 10, and 24. So what I'm going to need to do now, guys, is it's asking me to enable portfast on those access ports. And then it's also asking me to enable BPDU Guard. So what's BPDU Guard? Well, remember, STP uses these bridge protocol data units to send information about spanning tree. Now again, if for example, I put this port here in portfast so that it immediately transitions to a forwarding state when a computer gets connected, what could happen is if an attacker tried to send in malicious STP BPDU frames, what we want is we want this port to basically go into an error disabled state. So again, it's good practice that whenever you put a port, an access port, in this state of portfast, you should also enable BPDU Guard. So let's go and do that on these 4 access ports now, guys. So in we go. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go conft, I'm going to go interface fast Ethernet. Let's start off with fast Ethernet 0/1. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to say spanning tree. Oh, what's our command, guys? Is it spanning tree? Spanning tree? Yeah, spanning tree, question mark. Let's remind ourselves, portfast, that's it. Okay, is there any other commands there? No, I think we can just go spanning tree portfast because again, we're not doing it on any sort of trunk. Now also, it's giving us this warning here. It's saying portfast is being configured, but will only have effect when the interface is in a non-trunking mode. So that's okay. So again, it should be in a non-trunking mode anyway. It's in an access port. So what I also need to do is I'm going to say spanning tree, and I'm going to say BPDU Guard, and then I'm just going to need to go enable. So that's going to basically turn on portfast and also BPDU Guard enable. So once I press enter, that's now done that. Let's just go back and just make sure that our port number 1 is indeed in a what state is that in? It should be in an access state, if I remember correctly, and it looks like it is. There it is. Look, switchport access VLAN 10. Okay, so again, I always like to go under the port and to actually say switchport mode access, and there it is actually there, guys. So again, I am correct. It's not a trunk port. It's in this access port only, and that's some good best practice there. So guys, we've done that on one port now. Let's do it on other ports. So what I'll need to do now is I'll need to find out what were my other ports. Let's scroll back up here. Fast Ethernet 0/2, 10, and 24. Let's do them quickly. So I'm going to go conft. I'm going to go into fast interface 2. I'm going to go spanning tree portfast, and I'm going to basically say spanning tree BPDU enable. Okay, then I'm going to go exit. I'm going to go interface 0/10, wasn't that the next one? And I'm going to go spanning tree portfast. So again, I could be looking here, couldn't I, guys, at my ports? That would be easier, in fact. So again, spanning tree portfast, and I'm going to go spanning tree BPDU Guard enable. And then what I'm going to need to do then, guys, is I'm going to need to do my final one. So I'm going to go interface fast Ethernet 0/24, and I'm going to go into spanning tree portfast, and I'm going to say spanning tree BPDU Guard enable. So at this stage, guys, essentially we've now configured all of these tasks. Enable portfast on access ports that are used on switch port 1. Enable BPDU Guard on all the access ports that are on switch 1. The final thing that we need to do, guys, and this is our final task of these tutorials, is configure switch 2 so that all access ports will use portfast by default. So rather than actually going in manually under each and every single port, there is a command, guys, that you can enable portfast by default on the access ports. So what we'll do is we'll jump over to switch 2 and we'll enable that command. So let's grab that over and let's use that command, guys. So the final command that we can use is we're going to go conft and I'm going to say this is spanning tree, and I'm going to say portfast, and in this case we can use our context sensitive health, and it basically says if I use default, it's basically saying enable portfast by default on all access ports, and that's what it's looking for us to do in this last final step. And as you can see here, guys, my completion rate at the moment, I'm on 99%. Hopefully when I hit enter here on this, it should take us up to 100. And there we go, guys. Whew, that was a long series of exercises, but you can see there quite a number of steps there to go from, if you like, securing our basically switch ports on this topology. So literally, just to recap, guys, what did we do? We went through parts 1 to 5. We configured secure trunks. We secured the unused switch ports. We implemented port security. We enabled DHCP snooping just in case there was any DHCP rogue servers added to the network. And again, that could be done accidentally or on purpose by maybe an evil attacker. So again, DHCP snooping will help mitigating this type of threat. And then finally, guys, what we did was we enabled rapid per VLAN spanning tree. We use portfast to move those access ports into a forwarding state, skipping those listening and learning states, and then we enable BPDU Guard, this bridge protocol data unit guard, on each one of those ports so that someone couldn't come in and basically start sending in malicious STP, BPDU messages. That's quite a mouthful. But we got there in the end, guys. We managed to get our 100%. I hope you've enjoyed these lab tutorials, guys, and I hope to see you soon. Thanks for viewing.